Hi, I'm Saskia from Carey and I'm going to be asking you a few questions. Firstly, what is your research about?
Hi, thank you for the invitation. I am Heidy Cruz. I am a material scientist from the University of Queensland. I am working on the CRC Blue Economy project here at UQ. So my research is about, in general, biofouling. So as a background, the CRC stands for Cooperative Research Centre here in Australia, and it involves universities and partner institutions to solve a specific problem. So in general, the goal of the blue economy is to co-locate sustainable seafood production in Tasmania and marine renewable energies from tidal waves. So it's going to be hand in hand and in one space in Tasmania. It's a 10-year research project that aims to do that. And so the specific project that I am working on is solving the biofouling project. Broadly, biofouling is a phenomenon that happens to all submerged structures in fresh and seawater. You can even see it in your aquarium when a slimy substance forms after 2 or 3 weeks and then it's time to clean it up. So that slimy substance is biofouling, but that is in your aquarium, so in a very mild and controlled environment. So imagine the biofouling phenomenon, what happens in seawater. So what you get there is not just slimy substance, but you would get organisms such as barnacles and mussels that attach to anything submerged. So under cruise ships, under naval ships, boats, nets, fish nets, anything submerged. So you're going to see a lot of those macroorganisms. It's a very expensive problem that our seafood farmers in Tasmania, actually in Southeast Asia, all over the world, they are dealing with this on a very regular basis. They have to clean their nets every 2 weeks. They have to scrub them off. They pay divers just to scrub off the foulants, those mussels, those barnacles that are attached quite strongly on their beloved and precious assets. So it's expensive. It's a very expensive issue. So now, for the blue economy, if we're going to produce a sustainable seafood production and marine renewable energy in one location, this biofouling issue has to be addressed and solved.
What made you interested in this field?
Well, for me, the fact that this is a huge problem that has not been solved sparked my interest. So broadly speaking, the current approach to biofouling is to paint the surfaces with anti-fouling substances. So anti-fouling substances like copper, they kill those molecules. They kill the jellyfish, the barnacles, all those organisms that comes near the surface. So it's more like a toxic action. In principle, it works. It works to the point that cruise ships, the Navy, and other, for example, oil and gas infrastructures, they use it. They use those coatings. And it works in the sense that instead of cleaning the surfaces every month, it gets delayed to 4 months or 6 months. And that saves them a lot of labor cost and effort. However, the blue economy is tricky because we have to consider food safety. So employing copper substances on nets and on other infrastructure that comes close with the fish is actually detrimental to the fish health. That's why it's a very challenging and interesting project for me as a material scientist to really dig deep and think of solutions such as like non-toxic materials that are safe to the fish and that would solve this biofouling problem.
What does your day-to-day life look like while working?
So at the moment, there's no lab activities yet because the blue economy has just kicked off a few months ago. So what we're trying to do now is scoping, like really digging deep. What has been going on? What has been done? What didn't work? What are promising? What looks like a good approach for the blue economy by reading a lot of scientific articles, recent ones, books as well. It has to be done, and also it involves a lot of scientists and industries that already have experiences in this field.
What other researchers do you work with?
So the key partners for this project are Australian salmon industries, the renewable energy industry, and underwater monitoring companies. So these are the key partners that already have a lot of experiences on biofouling. They are the ones who are bearing the cost of this biofouling problem. They deal with it every year. They spend millions of money in cleaning the salmon farms, the nets, and all their infrastructure. The monitoring companies always have to clean their cameras and all their sensors underwater. They have tried many things, and all those experiences are given to us, and we take that into consideration when developing new solutions. We also work with universities such as University of Tasmania, University of Ghent in Belgium, Norway, and Norway we work with SINTEF, so it's a research center in Norway. They have their own research experiences and capabilities. So they have state-of-the-art research equipment that some are not available here in UQ, and they also have their own top scientists that have worked on this longer than us, and it's more of a collaborative effort for us. So it's very interesting. Some are fish vets, some are material scientists, some are water engineers, so working together and just giving valuable input to this project. It's very interesting.
What activities and studies did you need to do to get where you are right now?
Essentially a PhD. So I'm an early career scientist. I did my education in 3 countries, in bachelor, master's, and PhD. Recently, I did my PhD in UQ, and this has opened up the door for me to work for this project on the blue economy.
And what advice do you have for aspiring scientists or engineers?
I have a lot of advice, but I guess the main advice I would give is be curious. My second advice would be don't be afraid to try things out for the fear of failure, because the life of a scientist involves 9 failed attempts and 1 sweet success, and that's on a good day. So failures are normal. It's very normal, and it doesn't make you less of a person. I guess it's general to this trade. It's general to this discipline that people just fail. We get rejected in journals. We get criticisms, constructive criticisms in our papers. We also get rejections from scholarships. We get rejections for professorships. So it's a common thing. It's not something that you should be afraid of. Don't be afraid to try. And for engineers especially, yes, it's also very important to be curious for engineers, but I as a chemical engineer by trade, having done it in my bachelor's, I know there's a shift in focus. So engineers are trained to lessen the failures by optimizing the processes that are tried out by scientists. So we're kind of partners here. And engineers are trained to deal with problem solving in a more practical way, and it more involves costs and process optimizations and stuff like that. But in general, we do work hand in hand, and both really need a lot of optimism and energy and curiosity to really solve problems. So, and also, like, I guess my final message would be the world of science and technology is a very interesting space. There are a lot of interesting things going on here. Like in the field of water, there are already endless issues and endless things happening that actually need engineers and scientists to solve and to innovate. So the blue economy, that's one thing that's a very interesting aspect that's going on here in Australia. And 10 years later, I'm very much looking forward to what happens at the end of this research initiative. That said, it's a very long game. Look, the CRC is a 10-year project. So some people would think that scientists are not having a very eventful life. People are just working in the lab, publishing papers without any impact in the world. So that's an impression, basically because it's a very long game. We are solving complex problems. Like, look, the CRC, 10 years. Some cure for AIDS, it took 25 years. So and in connection to that, aside from it's long, you need a lot of people. You need a lot of scientists, collaborations, and partners that would help you get to the goal. It's a collaboration. So with that, don't be discouraged. If you are very interested in this field, don't be discouraged by that generalization of our life as scientists and engineers here. And don't also be discouraged with the scale of the problems going on presently in the world. So if we do things together, there are many capable people presently living in this world that could collaborate and help rebuild the world after this situation. So with that, thank you for your interest in the blue economy. Thank you for contacting us here in UQ, and one way or another, I hope we see each other again. Bye.